the law of self-regulation. Self-regulation is a critical aspect of our lives, and one that plays a role in determining our level of happiness, success, and fulfillment. It is the ability of an individual to control and regulate their own behavior, thoughts, emotions, or psychological processes in order to maintain stability in any moment. Just as the law of gravity of physics governs our physical world, the law of self-regulations operates as a fundamental principle that impacts every aspect of our lives. It is a fundamental principle that can be observed and understood, and one that can be actively cultivated and developed in order to achieve greater well-being. In this talk, we'll explore the concept of self-regulation and examine its impact on our lives. We will look at the ways in which our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes are interconnected and how we can use this understanding to actively shape and control our internal state. By developing our ability to regulate our behavior, thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes, we can achieve greater stability and well-being in our lives and live in alignment with this powerful fundamental principle. Let's get started. What is the law of self-regulating? The law of self-regulating is a powerful tool for everyone to master. It means we all have the power within us to regulate our own mental and emotional state, regardless of circumstances or external stimuli. People who can leverage this behavior are more often successful in their relationships, career paths, and overall life satisfaction. Living by this law means living without fear of insecurity, because we have the faith that we can handle anything the universe throws our way. We trust ourselves to remain emotionally balanced and empowered even in tumultuous situations. When you empower yourself with the law of self-regulations, you gain the control over your feelings such as stress, worry, and anxiety instead of letting them take control of your life. Learn how to use this law as an essential part of your self-care practice and be on your way to real inner growth. The law of self-regulating states that we are capable of actively shaping our emotions and thoughts and controlling them. If you've been feeling overwhelmed lately, try to create a plan that increases your control and give you more peace of mind. Recognize that you can choose how to react and think instead. Taking charge like this can help bring positive change in your life and even reduce stress levels. Every time you challenge negative thoughts with positive ones or give yourself focus and structure, you're taking advantage of the law of self-regulating. Try it today. Observe your reactions. Become conscious of your inner dialogue and start making small, impactful changes that bring about lasting good results. The law of self-regulating is a process we are able to take initiative in mastering. It acknowledges that as conscious creatures, we have the power to decide how we direct our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes. This regulation is critical to sustaining balance within ourselves, physically and mentally. By understanding our individual body sensations and triggers, we can work on managing our daily intentions from an empowered place. When this level of self-control is reached consistently over time, internal perspectives and actions will be supported, leading us towards an expansive sense of self-awareness and healing. Mind, body, and life. As human beings, we are complex dynamic systems that are constantly changing and adapting to our environment. Whether it's our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, or psychological processes, we have the ability to control and regulate our systems in order to maintain stability and achieve our goals. This ability is known as self-regulating, and it is a fundamental principle that underlies all aspects of our lives. Self-regulating is based on the idea that we have the power to influence our own internal state and make choices that impact our well-being. By understanding and mastering this principle, we can gain greater control over our lives and achieve greater happiness, success, and fulfillment. The concept of self-regulating is rooted in a number of different disciplines, including psychology, neuroscience, economics, ecology. In each of these fields, researchers have found that self-regulating is a key component of individual and collective success. For example, in psychology, self-regulating is seen as an essential component of mental and emotional health. It allows us to manage our thoughts and emotions in a way that helps us to maintain stability and reduce stress. When we are able to regulate our emotions, we can avoid negative reactions and respond to situations in a calm and rational manner. In economics, self-regulating is seen as a key component of market stability. Markets that are self-regulating are able to maintain a balance between supply and demand, and are more efficient in sustaining the markets that are not. In ecology, self-regulating is seen as a key component of the health of the ecosystem. Ecosystems that are self-regulating are able to maintain a balance between the different species that live within them and are more resilient and adaptable to change. The law of self-regulating is a fundamental principle that is relevant in all aspects of our lives. By understanding and mastering this principle, we can gain greater control over our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and psychological processes and achieve greater happiness, success, and fulfillment. Whether you're looking to improve your mental or emotional well-being, achieve financial success, or maintain a healthy and sustainable ecosystem, the law of self-regulating provides a roadmap for success. The power to influence our own internal state. One of the key aspects of self-regulating is the recognition that we have the power to influence our own internal state. This means that we are not simply passive victims of our own thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes, but instead, we have the ability to actively shape and control them. For example, if you're feeling anxious or stressed, we can take steps to regulate our breathing, engage in mindfulness practices, or engage in physical exercises to help reduce these feelings. Similarly, if you find ourselves getting caught up in negative thoughts, we can practice positive self-talk, engage in gratitude exercises, or seek out social support to help shift our perspective. The key to effective self-regulating is to understand the way in which our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes are connected, and to develop strategies that help us to maintain balance and stability. This may involve learning new coping skills, developing mindfulness practices, or seeking support from friends and family or mental health professionals. The power to influence our own internal state is one of the core components of self-regulating. By recognizing this power and taking the steps to actively shape and control our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes, we can achieve greater stability, happiness, and well-being in our lives. The ability to shape and control our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes. One of the key components of self-regulating is the ability to actively shape and control our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes. This means that we have the power to change our internal state and to direct it towards a positive outcome. For example, if we're feeling anxious or stressed, we can use techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness practices, or physical health to help regulate our psychological responses and reduce our feelings of anxiety. Similarly, if we find ourselves getting caught up in a negative thought, we can use positive self-talk, gratitude exercises, or social support to help shift our perspective and focus on more positive outcomes. To effectively shape and control our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes, it is important to understand the way in which these systems are interconnected. For example, if our thoughts can influence our emotions, and our emotions can influence our psychological responses, by developing an awareness of these connections and by taking steps to actively regulate our internal state, we can achieve greater stability and well-being in our lives. The ability to shape and control our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes is a key aspect of self-regulating. By recognizing this ability and developing the skills and strategies needed to effectively regulate our internal state, we can achieve greater happiness, success, and fulfillment in our lives. The interconnectedness of thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes. Self-regulating is found on the understanding that our thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes are interconnected and that they can influence one another. This means that our thoughts can affect our emotions, and our emotions can affect our psychological responses, and vice versa. For example, if you're feeling anxious, our thoughts may become negative, and our heart rate and breathing may become elevated. Similarly, if you're feeling angry, our thoughts may become hostile, and our body may tense up in response. Understanding these connections is critical to effective self-regulating, as it allows us to identify the root cause of our internal state and take the steps necessary to address them. Here's the same example. If we're feeling anxious, we may need to work on regulating our breathing and reducing our negative thoughts in order to reduce our feelings of anxiety. Understanding the interconnectedness of thoughts, emotions, and psychological processes is a key component to self-regulating. By developing an awareness of these connections and by taking steps to address any imbalance in our internal states, we can achieve greater stability and well-being in our lives. The law of self-regulating is a powerful fundamental principle that impacts every aspect of our lives. It is the ability of an individual to control and regulate their own behaviors, thoughts, emotions, or psychological processes in order to maintain stability in any moment. And by understanding and embracing this principle, we can actively cultivate our ability to regulate our internal state and achieve greater stability and well-being in our lives. Whether we are seeking to improve our relationships, achieve greater success in our lives, or simply live a more fulfilling life, the law of self-regulating provides us with the tools and framework we need to make it happen. So if you're ready to take control of your life and live in alignment with this powerful fundamental principle, please take the time to reflect on your own self-regulating practices and make plans to develop and strengthen them. The law of self-regulating is waiting for you to tap into its power, and the benefits it can bring are well worth the effort. I'm Leroy Glover, and I thank you for your time.